Yeah, people respect that a quality media product takes time and must be curated.
We know how to do words. We swear. It's just we sometimes we need a little bit of work with some other stuff.
Exactly. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce basically HOOPTIE Happy Hour 2.0, which is what you're listening to right now. So my name's Andrew Collins. I'm the editor-in-chief of carbibles.com. I am joined by four illustrious individuals. Tony Markovich is my deputy editor, executive editor. He's my right-hand man, helping me do edits, helping get stuff on the site, writing the site primarily is Peter Nelson out west in Long Beach, Chris Rosales in California as well, Palmdale, LA area, and then Kevin Williams in Ohio. And, a few other folks scattered around the country, but that's our main crew.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah.
Sup, everyone.
Yeah, that's everybody. And this is basically going to be a weekly chat show. We've got an agenda and everything, as Mr. Rosales hinted at earlier, and we're going to be working out the kinks. So there's a couple things if anybody who's listening has suggestions, technical suggestions. Patrick just DM'd me and said I was a little too quiet, so I'm going to see if I can bump the levels. Yeah, let us know. Help us out. We got 8 segments, basically. We got the welcome, which we just did. We got shout outs, in which we're all going to kind of discuss some of our favorite things we've watched or read or seen in the last week. We're going to get into backstory stories, which is like the backstory of stories we've written. I'll go around and ask our crew about some blogs, and we'll tell you why we wrote them and maybe some behind-the-scenes stuff. Who knows? If we don't cover all the news there, we'll get into news in the section after that. Then I'm going to talk about what we're working on. Then we'll talk about what we're driving. Finally, we'll have some questions. If anybody has questions, we'll try to answer them. And that's pretty much all there is to it, folks. So as for from here, our shout-out section, is there anything that you guys have seen, my Car Bibles crew, in the last 7 days that you're dying to celebrate and highlight? If not, I got something I can share.
The new F1 cars are very exciting to me. I don't know if they are to anybody else in this crew. But I'm having a good time watching those get revealed. See that the new regulations aren't just prescriptive. There's actually differences, and there's things happening. I feared the cars would look too samey.
Too samey?
Yeah, but there's actually things happening, and I'm enjoying it. I'm excited for the new season for sure.
Okay, so give me a little more context, because I'm not really a motorsports follower. I'll be honest. Is this do they reveal new models every year? That's how ignorant I am.
Right. So the deal with this season, a lot of people might be familiar. The deal with this season is there's an all new set of regulations, and they're prescribed in a different way. It's a complete aerodynamic overhaul of the cars, the engines and the power unit, all that stuff's the same. But the goal was to make the racing, quote, closer. Whether that goal is going to be achieved, we don't really know. But the cars look nifty. I was a fan of the last gen cars. I liked how kind of bristly they looked. I'm an outlier. But these new cars are nifty, and it's just I'm getting to enjoy Formula One when I didn't about 2 years ago. It's totally a Drive to Survive thing. I'm willing to admit that.
You mean from having watched the Netflix show, you're more fired up about the race?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you got to tell a good story, right? And once you tell a good story and people can follow along with that, I'm all about it. But yeah, in the last week, that's kind of what I've been about. Other than getting deep into a Gran Turismo YouTube hole, that's kind of where I've been.
Wait, before we move off F1, since I have the visual capabilities on our YouTube thing, this is a perfect opportunity to use them. Is there any team in particular that...
Oh, dude, the new McLaren is hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
New McLaren is a very, very gorgeous car because they embrace the orange and blue vibes.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm so ignorant. I thought that Drive to Survive was a goddamn dating show.
I mean, some of the scenes are hilariously dramatized, like Cyril, the Renault team principal, and Daniel Ricciardo. Some of that drama is hysterical. And the McLaren's really good looking. The new Ferrari just happened, and somehow I don't feel a ton of fanfare about it. I'm not a Ferrari fan. Really, I think they have a lot of money for how badly they perform every season.
Ferrari slander. I don't know how I feel about this, but okay.
It's just me. That's where I'm at. That's where my head's at.
I'm looking at the Ferrari right now. It's got like a Ray-Ban. The livery is pretty cool. I don't know. They did a good way of.
It's red.
stickering.
What's new? It's a red Ferrari. Who cares?
I'm a traditionalist. I like red Ferraris. Whatever.
Yellow Ferraris are much cooler. So are white Ferraris. Red is cool, but
any color other than red.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh man. So yeah, if you're watching on the YouTube, I'm scrolling around with some Ferraris right now, and we were looking at McLarens earlier, and I'm wondering if anybody is appreciating this. I hope you are.
I am.
Very cool. Yeah, thank you, Peter. Thank you. And then what did you say about Gran Turismo, Chris? What are you jamming on over there?
Well, I recently fell into a hole with this Gran Turismo YouTuber. His name is Super GT. He got invited to all the cool Gran Turismo stuff. So he got invited to like the World Championship stuff before COVID ended. So before COVID started.
Brown?
So yeah, what would happen is that they'd gather up all these really great Gran Turismo players, and like there was this one event in 2019 where they brought everyone together, and Lewis Hamilton raced against a bunch of them. Really nifty stuff.
In a game?
No, in real life. They were like in Monaco, and they set up, and Kaz was there, and they set up all these like these simulators, and then they had everyone race in an exhibition race. And
cool.
I'm so deep into sim racing right now. I've been sim racing like 3 times a week now that I have a little cabal. And this dude's actually kind of entertaining for a guy who sits in a chair and talks. So I've been enjoying him a lot.
Cool. I'll have to give him a sub when I log in as Car Bibles.
Chris,
cool.
you wrote about your sim racing experience a bit. How's it been as far as your adjustment between the sim and like the real world with the Oculus stuff?
I mean, I finally got my Assetto Corsa to not make me motion sick by clicking a box called Horizon Leveling or something, Lock to Horizon. So, and now I'm driving like Streets of Willow in the sim, and it's a ton of fun. I'm enjoying it a lot more as time goes on. The first couple months were just kind of really vomity sort of vibes. And I don't get motion sick that easily. It was just really, really fatiguing. But I'm having so much fun with it, and it's so cool when you're in the sim and you look over to your left and there's a car racing there. I'm still very much fearful of VR. I think it's too powerful for people. I don't trust people to have the capability of just having access to this. But I think it's the only way to sim race, and that's a hot take. I don't care for the monitors anymore. Even like a curved monitor, you just don't get the depth perception in a monitor. Right. And you could really learn a track in the sim with VR, where you could learn a track with the monitor, but you can't. There's minutia. To me, especially with like modern sims have laser scan tracks that are insanely accurate. Oh yeah, that you could use as practice.
Do you feel any difference in level of fatigue between using the Oculus and like just like a screen?
I mean, recently I found my stamina to be higher. I can go I've done 120-minute endurance races in the Oculus, and I'm pretty good. I don't feel so bad afterwards. It doesn't feel great, but it's doable.
To me, that sounds like the more budget way to go about things too, because you just pay for an Oculus rather than buy like several gigantic monitors or those ones that wrap around and such. You know?
Yeah. So the Quest 2 I have is $300, and a good monitor that you want to sim race is going to cost you like $1,400.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus,
like a high refresh rate curved monitor. So I mean, the thing, here's the caveat, and I said this in the piece. You need a beef computer to run VR, like beef. So I spent $300 on my Oculus, right? But then I proceeded to spend another $1,500 upgrading my computer to run the Oculus. So it's like, okay, I think it's a net negative to run VR because you're spending more money on. I mean, I guess you have the positive of having a better computer, but I had to get a really serious graphics card and CPU and a better power supply and all kinds of stuff to run it. So it's probably just a wash, honestly. It's all what you want, and it depends on people. Some people get motion sick really easily. Some don't. I don't. So it works for me.
Nice. Right on. Definitely something that changes with age. I never used to, and now I'm like, oh god, virtual reality makes my tummy hurt.
It really does when I throw my elders in there. Yeah, look at that top shot there. When I throw my elders in VR, they're quite disoriented. They hop out and they're like drunk and tripping over the stairs. It's hilarious. I don't know. My favorite thing is to throw them in a Google Earth VR.
Oh,
and what you can do is set this. You could set the scale realistically in Google Earth VR, so it's fucked up, dude. You hop in and you're like 3,000 feet in the air. It's nuts,
dude.
Yeah, it's.
I should have had this. I should have had this like during COVID lockdown when I just like hang out on Google Earth, bored out of my mind, unemployed.
Yeah. No, dude. Yeah, Google Earth VR was like the main chunk of my VR time the first month I had it. It was so good.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, right?
It sounds amazing.
It's astounding. I honestly just float around Los Angeles for like an hour at a time. So, I'm like, oh, there's Angeles Crest. Yeah, VR is ridiculous. It's so dumb. I love it. But it's a downfall of humanity.
Just gonna hang out here right above the Westin Bonaventure Hotel.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I do. I plop myself right on a rooftop, and I'm like, "Yep, there I am. This is the thing." And I'm like, "This looks just like real life." Well, no shit, but that kind of thing.
Man, since we brought up a post here, anyway, we can get into some backstory stories on the last stuff we dropped in the last 7 days. For those of you who are watching this on the YouTube, you get to see the nice top shot of Chris driving in his VR headset.
It's like the Animorphs.
Awesome. Yeah.
Animorphs.
Exactly.
I thought the helmet would be a little heavy-handed, but it really worked out.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. No, there's some great visuals in there. It would be hilarious to drive around with, like, if you could somehow make a mesh over the VR thing and see what
oh my lord, that'd be amazing.
So I highly do not recommend this, but the Quest 2, the tracking is based on cameras.
Right.
So you can go in the Quest 2 and you could set it to see through. So you could see just the real world just through infrared.
Oh shoot! Wow.
Right. You could. Is this okay? If we're willing to go, I'll go to a fucking parking lot and test this. But I don't know. You could theoretically drive in your Quest 2 with the see-through mode on. Don't do it.
Wow.
You didn't hear it from me.
Well, that's nice in case someone wants to scare you. I don't know, and you're able to at least see out of it somewhat. I don't know.
I always have it on because I don't want to get too immersed, because they put you in a room. They put you in a room space and it freaks you out. It dissociates you from reality. So I leave the see-through on so I can remember that I'm not part of the metaverse. Anyway, sorry. Okay, on to the next thing.
You're not an NFT.
Yeah.
If I stay in too long, I'm going to turn into a sim racing NFT for sure.
Oh God, yeah. I just had the most pointless thought that I can't resist voicing. Imagine driving your car on a track that was programmed into the game while wearing the headset, but also you're driving in real life.
Man, that is so
dude, that could be
shit.
No, dude. I honestly, Peter, if we go to Streets of Willow, and you drive my car and I hop in the passenger seat with a pre-programmed lap of Streets of Willow.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
That would make me
Right.
throw up. So
oh my god,
quickly.
because you're feeling the G forces. Yeah. Not that there's many of them.
But it would also be not quite the same, obviously, because of real life factors. So it would be so disorienting.
It would be.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
You're gonna hit something in the game and then just wonder why you can't keep driving.
Dude, that's another thing. Crashing in VR is so scary. It's terrible because it flies at you, and you're I've rolled over in VR and open wheel cars. It's terrifying. It's so bad.
Why did Chris throw himself out of the bedroom window?
Yeah, it's exactly that. You react to things just naturally. It's freaky, dude.
Oh my god, not to like change gears so wildly, but
Now let's do it.
just because I'm curious, I wanted to ask Peter about the Pasadena Piper.
Oh man, yeah.
So I had heard of this guy. Wow, my typing is bad. I'd heard of this guy, but never like I've never seen him. But where did you find that like video of him, Peter?
Well, I was just perusing Twitter, and the person I quoted, I forget who was off the top of my head right now, but the person I quoted was just like, "This is important" or something like that, and I'm like, "Whoa, that's epic!" And I'm looking at him like, "Wait a minute, that looks like Southern California." And I look closer, and then I saw the like final couple tenths of a second. You can see like what's on the cop car when it goes past. Like the cop apparently is like just drives past like laughing, but you can see that it starts with pass. I'm like, oh, maybe that's Pasadena. And so I just started Googling around. I'm like, oh, this guy is like a local character who's been doing this for years, and like everyone loves him.
Dude,
and it's just so cool because
man just ripping on the recorder.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh man, yeah. And he drives cool cars too, like Super Outback, Honda Element, and Prius, which is the only cool Prius in my opinion.
Cool cars. You just listed those cars up and said they're cool.
I mean, they're good standbys.
Pretty good.
You know.
I'm watching the Subaru clip. Oh, it's a classic like early Outback.
Yeah,
with the,
that's Paul Hogan spec.
That's a pretty cool
Paul
car.
Hogan spec.
Yeah, that's the Paul Hogan. Yeah, that's the
exactly.
Paul Hogan Outback.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
it is.
And I don't know, it's just cool because it's like little things like that, like interesting folks in the neighborhood or in the city who like do goofy things like that. I always appreciate that. Like the town where my parents lived after I graduated high school, there was this dude who would just rip on bagpipes like all Sunday morning long, every Sunday morning, and you could legitimately hear him from like 2 or 3 blocks away. Like it was loud, but it was so cool because you walk past and you're just like, "Whoa, that guy's doing a face melter on bagpipes."
Face melter.
And then also, in Chicago, like as I've touched upon here and there, I'm from Chicago, lived in the city for a number of years, and when I worked in downtown, there's this dude called the Walking Man, and it's just like, well, the Walking Man isn't any man who can walk a walking man, but like it's a thing where it's like this dude who like he's always out and about walking in downtown Chicago, and he's dressed like kind of like regal-y.
Regal.
Wrigley or Regally?
Regal.
Dude's got.
I think he lives on the north side, so he might be a Wrigley fan, as in a Cubs fan, but I'm not sure.
So regally like royalty, or regally like a pimp?
Like he's been seen wearing an ascot,
Oh,
like that kind of regal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Walking Man. But anyway,
country
club.
club.
just like I don't know, cool things about communities and cities. The people who make it fun and interesting, and also with this Pasadena Piper guy, his whole thing is just like he just wants people to look up from their phones and like appreciate something in the real world for a brief minute. I think that's really cool. So, and he's doing it from like his car, so like he can put on a concert to so many passersby, especially in Pasadena. That's a very like a very pedestrian-friendly city. So there's a lot of people out and about walking
to walk
in Old Town Pasadena in particular. So
I think I just want to also point out that you did a great job like making the illustration for this.
Oh, thank you.
So for those of you who are on YouTube, it's or who are not on YouTube, check it out because I'm showing it right now. It's like the way you found this picture of the guy and kind of made it look like an album cover. It's like the dude,
right?
I don't know.
It's like it auto.
He's like holding the recorder in this very like almost looks like a wholesome version of Keith Richards.
Yeah,
like
wholesome and sassy Keith Richards. I don't think Keith Richards has ever made a face this sassy before.
Freaking great.
Dude is just ripping, man.
Oh yeah. It rules.
I had another backstory question that kind of also rolls into what people are working on. I wanted to ask Kevin about the i-MiEV's like shifter situation. What's happening, Kevin? There he is. There he is. Mic's on. How's the talk to me about this latest i-MiEV mission?
I mean, there's not really much more than the story that's on there. I mean, I'm in my bedroom, and it's the car is literally right next to my bedroom window. I haven't really touched it since I bought it. Aside from I drove it about 68 miles before the shifter cable kind of exploded in my repair. So
to fix the cable, the battery has to come out. Yeah.
yeah, so basically the shifter cable runs from the shifter, and then it runs underneath the actual sheet metal of the vehicle, and then it like dives in front of the battery and then to the vehicle's transmission. But it looks like these things are like notorious for like gumming up a little bit. So I think the previous owner, because he had been driving it like this for a year,
Yeah.
and it would go fine. It would kind of go into eco mode, like if you like slammed it fast enough. But mostly he just drove it around in B mode, which is fine.
What is B mode?
Brake.
Oh, regen.
I mean,
Oh.
it basically just simulates engine braking by like turning up the regen brakes.
So that's
So,
what
like,
B means in a Prius. Okay. I
Yeah.
never thought I never thought about it.
Some
Okay.
people say boost, and it's not boost, it's braking.
Boost.
Like what boost? What does that mean? What do you think boost
I've
is?
definitely heard that. There's this dude who's dating a girl I knew who had a Prius C, and he's like, "Yeah, put it in B, bro. It mobs in the canyons." I'm like, what does that even mean?
Stupid. He's stupid, and he's probably going slower.
No, absolutely.
Because if you drive any CPT car, they also probably have B, which it means braking.
Well, we got the shifter assembly up on the screen here.
Yeah, I wanted to show the good people what the hell you're talking about. So
Basically, there's like one bolt that I think, and if you pull up the article, you can see up where I've
Yep.
circled it. That's kind of like in the middle of the car, where the head of the bolt is facing downward.
Oh my gosh.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah, we got
facing,
it.
Yeah.
so it's facing the battery. So I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I can't undo it without dropping the battery.
I have a solution for you. A hole saw and remove the carpet.
You know, I
Yeah.
thought about that, and then I realized, you know what, because eventually my plan is to like eventually sell it, and I'm like, no,
Yeah, but the hole will
let's
be
not
hidden
do
under the
that.
carpet. It'll be fine. Just put a
No, don't. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna like be that type of girl. I'm just gonna like bring it to my mechanic and act like I don't know what's going on. So,
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Fair enough.
I could definitely see your point there, Kevin, and I think it's a noble pursuit. That said, if you could do like a clean access port, it might not be the end of the world. But
honestly, what I thought about doing is just like, you know, cutting it off and then just like reversing it.
right,
Yeah.
that's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea, but I don't know where that head of the battery bolt's going to go. Like, I don't know if the top of the battery has like access holes in it. And knowing my luck, I'd like, oh, it's all fixed, and like, I like literally short out the battery and like burn the car to the ground. So,
Oh, God.
We'll just use
It would be
duct
like
tape.
the junior mint in Seinfeld that falls into the guy getting surgery.
right. So like, you know what? No, I'm just going to, because I'm thinking like, well, how can I like drop this battery? I don't think dropping the battery is hard. It's just that I don't have the space to do it.
Yeah, it's probably just like 8 bolts, and you just need a hydraulic jack, and just probably pop that bottom.
Well, as you
yeah,
mentioned,
but
the weight too.
Yeah, it's also
500
really
pounds.
I mean, it's heavy, but it's not that heavy. I mean, I've lifted up shit like that before.
The i-MiEV battery weighs approximately is 1/6 of the weight of the Hummer EV.
Because I'm thinking like, okay, 520 pounds is like heavy, but like
But it's probably awkward.
my roommate and I could do it. It wouldn't be that heavy because like usually when I do my flips, I usually end up loading the motors myself.
Which is nuts.
Yeah,
to me.
same.
It's not nuts. It's not nuts. Just lift with your legs. It's not being a bitch.
I'm not lifting a fucking flat 6 with my legs. That's going on the jack, dude.
I mean, like it's. I mean, I guess I'm starting to realize that maybe I'm a little stronger than I thought. Because like
I'm not dead.
I'm not that strong.
I'm reg till I die, and I will not deadlift a motor.
Because I'm thinking like
That's pretty intense,
I think
man.
of the motors that I've definitely lifted into the car. I would say I've done a Yaris motor by myself. I've done like 4 different Corolla engines by myself. A
Okay, so I want the article then. I deadlifted an i-MiEV battery into my i-MiEV.
I mean, it's only 520 pounds. I'm thinking like if my roommate gets the other,
Only.
I'm just
if
trying
my
to.
roommate gets the
Yeah,
other
I'm like,
side,
how ripped is
I'm
Kevin?
not ripped, but I do go to the gym. But like,
All right.
I'm just thinking like all the engines I've like lifted myself. Like I've done a Camaros 2.4. That wasn't too hard. Although I'd had some help with that one. The most recent that was like the weirdly heavy would probably be like the Tiburon's 2 liter.
I was going to ask if I remember you saying that one was like oddly huge for how big its displacement was.
It was so heavy, and I'm like, why is this engine so heavy?
Have you deadlifted an EA888?
No, I don't fuck with Volkswagen. Sorry.
Come on.
Hey Kevin,
man.
Yeah.
when you like the short time that you were able to drive it, was it enough to like even take away anything, or like what was the acceleration like? You know,
Normal. Honestly, one of the things I have planned about some content for this car is like I feel like a lot of auto journalists can sometimes like really do the most with some of the things they write, but also not do enough with some of the other things they write because they made the i-MiEV sound like it was like this horrible thing that's like undrivable, and it's fine. Is it very good? No.
Okay, is this a Barth Kevin talking, or is this Yaris Kevin?
I think this is just like every normal person, Kevin, because like it's not very good, but it's not very bad either.
how did it compare to like a Mirage?
Better, a lot better.
That
Okay.
I
Yeah,
believe
the
that.
i-MiEV isn't pained like a Mirage. Yeah,
Wow.
Mirages are pained to go fast. They're all.
I mean, I took it up to its maximum speed, which is like 81 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's
It's actually not
fast.
bad. Oh, I was expecting less.
Yeah.
So, wait, so you're flat out on the highway? You're just matting it?
Yeah, but like I mean, it's an electric car, so it's basically the car is basically limited to like however fast the engine can spin or the motor can spin without blowing up.
Yeah.
So 82, like it'll do 82, but that is as fast as it will ever go because like the motor physically cannot spin faster.
Now, my one question though, because it is rear-wheel drive, right?
Yeah.
Can you brake torque it?
I don't think so
Oh man, we got to find out.
because I think
We got to do everything we can to make sure we
it's,
can get as much power to the rear wheels as possible.
Yeah, I think it's frowned on for EVs to do. I remember when I drove that Tesla Mustang, there was a lot of things like, don't do this, don't do that. Really don't do this.
I don't think
and
it
I'm
can
like,
because
okay.
of how the brakes work.
Really?
How do the brakes
Like
work?
I mean,
Are they
like
just not brakes?
you have friction brakes, but it's like primarily like regenerative braking.
Oh, true. And you don't want to mess that stuff up, I guess.
I mean, and regenerative braking, people don't realize that regenerative braking is basically the motor turning backwards.
I mean, the way I'm thinking of brake torquing the i-MiEV is when I have my impact drill in my hand, right? And I hold the impact drill and I brake torque the impact
I will
drill.
say that if you turn off traction control and put it on some ice, it will go sideways.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so
It's good enough for me.
I'm seeing photos of i-MiEVs doing huge burnouts on Google, which I'm a fan.
Oh
of.
man, epic.
I haven't gotten that far yet. I did want to shout out 2012 Motor Trend for some very dynamic photos of the i-MiEV.
Dynamic,
I
sporty.
will spoil something that like because obviously this car is like 10 years old, so it's got some significant battery degradation, but not as bad as you think, but also not great. Like I took it, I was trying to get it to deplete it just to see how far it could go, and like flat out with the heat on max and like the lights on, I got I think 27 miles. Like full to flat.
A nice enclosed golf cart.
27. What can you do with 27 miles?
A lot.
I mean, you could do stuff.
I mean,
yeah,
you
could
go
do
to the
stuff.
coffee
Yeah,
shop.
that's not horrible.
I'm spoiling some more content
I mean,
here. I have some pieces coming, basically about like the i-MiEV is shitty and can't go very far, but it did make sense because I was looking at like the Google Wayback Machine, and back in 2012 when these things came out, when like every state was throwing huge incentives at EVs, like you could lease an i-MiEV for like $69 a month.
Oh, that's nothing. That's like,
sure, I can only go 62 miles, but like $69 a month for a car that like costs like 30 cents to fuel.
Well, especially
$1 per mile.
Well, especially if like your commute is like 10 miles away or less, and then you just plug in every night. Like that's not horrible.
Right. Since we work
if you're
from
able
home,
to.
since we work from home, I can like conceivably, drive the i-MiEV downtown to a coffee shop and then plug it in.
Yeah.
And then work from a coffee shop and then drive home.
Yeah. We can run some quick errands pretty easily, like, within the neighborhood, town, city, whatever,
Yeah, it can't do very much, but like, what the fuck do you expect?
Yeah.
I mean,
For
the
how cheap you
i-MiEV is
have
also
it.
probably a lot nicer to drive than a Land.
No.
Just by the
No.
not even.
No.
Come on, like the
No.
EV, dude. When you take
No.
away, okay, look, this happened when I drove that Mustang.
Absolutely not.
No Mustang. Like that 4.6 is a fine
No,
engine.
you just
but
making
an
shit
EV,
up. That is no.
dude, EVs are fucking not. EVs are so much more luxurious because you don't feel things like engines. You don't need to.
I think the i-MiEV is okay, but I think you're also like, I don't know, that's pretty much of a reach. My roommate and I, we were looking underneath of it. We were like, I wonder if like Mitsubishi just stole like a forklift motor and put it in this thing.
It sure seems like.
I mean, didn't you guys hedge that there might be forklift parts in it in your most recent
we
update?
hedged it because my roommate and I tried to like look it up and like we couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I don't think this car was entirely from scratch.
Oh, there's no way.
Surely, yeah. They had to have the tech somewhere, somehow.
I mean, the whole chassis is basically a long Smart 4.2.
Yeah.
If you compare,
that's why it's rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, the whole rear axle, the whole rear suspension, and everything is identical. It's basically a long wheelbase Smart 4.2, and it's also like a lot better of a car than a 4.2. One of my old
4.2s aren't great.
One of my old roommates had a second gen 4.2.
The SMT was terrible.
The whole car is terrible. Like the engines in them just wear out. Like I remember my roommate had one, and like their shifter just broke off in their hand. And not just like came apart from like the assembly, like the plastic broke. Like in the middle.
Smart car. It's very intelligent.
Man, Mercedes-Benz, am I right?
Do you guys have any familiarity with the i-MiEV evolution?
I'm sorry.
I'm digging these photos you've been showing, by the way.
Because that's what I've been peeking at.
There's an i-MiEV Evo.
Yeah, it did Pikes Peak.
Oh, that's the Pikes Peak thing.
That thing looks cool as hell.
There was also
it kind of does.
It did evolve. I'll give it that. It did evolve, but it did not evolve from an
Damn, endless brakes on it. Nice.
Actually, I think it did.
Are you sure?
Must have.
I think
I
think it has
right?
like the same engine. Or same motor and battery. It's just like weighs 2 pounds because there's like nothing there.
I mean,
now this is genius. This auto guide post, the Mitsubishi i-MiEV. That's genius.
They did such a weird treatment of like it looks like they shrunk the i-MiEV and then like added a body kit
I see what you mean.
It's truly bizarre.
They made it look like a cozy coupe with gigantic over fenders.
Do you guys remember the i-MiEV Sport Air concept? I have
to look another
thing.
It's
like if Volkswagen actually made like an anatomically correct Beetle.
I wish we had Aaron Robinson in here to talk i-MiEV. Oh wow, this is nifty.
Isn't it though?
It's so cool.
Can you picture what the
Why is it giving me Peugeot? It's giving me Peugeot.
Oh, big time French vibes.
Yeah.
Big time.
I mean, aren't all hill climbers big time French vibes? Like all hill climbers.
This is the Sport Air concept. This one.
Yeah,
this is wow.
I can't tell like which end is the front and which is the back. I mean, I think obviously the red lights. In the back,
I hate saying this. Like, I feel like I kind of like the i-MiEV, even though I've only driven it like 60 miles, and it's like an unbridled piece of shit. But like, if it had like either a bigger battery or was gas powered.
I love that. If it were only
holy cow, that concept is insane.
So you mean the car? You mean the car that they sold? Didn't they sell a gas i-MiEV version?
It was gas first. The i-MiEV,
that's
the
why
Mitsubishi i came out in 2005.
That's right. It's a Mitsubishi i, and then they added the i-MiEV.
Yeah,
it'd be so cool if they called the e-MiEV.
See, we should have done a Mitsubishi i-EVO.
It was literally.
We could have had the GR Yaris.
It was literally a K car, and then for the United States,
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
You can see the dashboard between the U.S. i-MiEV and the Japanese one is the same. You can see the little inserts that they put on the side of the dash to make the car wider.
Dude, there's no way.
Wait, can you
Someone
tell me
did
what was the name of
import
that again
tuner.
so I can get a picture? The
Mitsubishi I.
Dude, there's like an import tuner one, like
Yeah, I'm
like
not from.
4 rows down. That looks hilarious.
Wait, there's a.
Beast Athlete
You could just
Evolution.
say Mitsubishi I Turbo.
Okay, there
Oh,
we
there's
go.
a turbo. Oh,
Wow.
660cc turbo, as one does.
Yeah, they were like really, really, they were really, really,
No.
really,
Takes a
really
different
So-
kind of
popular
charge.
in Japan.
So as I enter Mitsubishi I,
my
it
God.
suggests I turbo 660cc price in Pakistan. A very
Huh.
interesting suggestion from Google.
Turbo K car. Wow.
Wow, dude, there's a
yeah.
Blitz one. There's a Blitz
Hell
Mitsubishi
yes.
I. What? What is
there?
happening?
All right, I gotta find that.
Oh, there is. I see it.
Well, this is where the YouTube live stream is coming in clutch because
Exactly.
people get to see it. You get to see
Oh
this
my
stupid shit we're
God,
talking
dude.
about.
Yeah.
This thing is sick.
And the best part about the I is that it traded that like it doesn't have the smarts like shitty AMT. It actually has like an actual 4-speed automatic
Ooh.
with a torque converter.
Wow, the photos of this are so low res. I wonder if like any records exist.
Yeah.
There's no
so
way.
Cool.
This is okay. Wow. All right. This has changed my entire opinion on the Mitsubishi i-MiEV.
Legitimately, if Mitsubishi had sold the I here, even if they just like had like a gas powered i-MiEV,
I don't know.
I probably would have bought one.
You would have bought one. The rest of the country would have said, "I'll have a Civic, thank you."
I don't know. I feel like it's cute enough to like
Or
they
a
could have
fit.
gotten away with it. Like if I
don't know.
if I could get a
They did
if I-
sell a weird amount of smarts.
if
They
I could,
did
if I
sell.
could get if I could get a turbo manual Mitsubishi I,
I mean, that'd be kind of sick, but it'd be K car vibes. Could they even fit like a 1.3 in that for America?
I mean, like,
Maybe they
well,
could.
the smart car is like I said, same chassis, and it has like a 1 liter,
Kevin,
like 80 some
That's
odd,
true.
with like
Yeah.
80 some odd horses.
Kevin, I have a suggestion.
Oh god,
I think I think you should swap a turbo K motor into the back of your i-MiEV, and then that makes it essentially the modern interpretation of the Fiat Abarth 500, because the original
Oh my
had
God.
an engine in the
geez.
back
It's rear
powering the rear
engine,
wheels.
it does.
Oh, dude! And also, since it's registered as an EV, you don't have to tell anybody that there's a motor
I mean,
in
I
it.
live in Ohio, so I don't
And
have
you-
to tell anybody anything.
That's true, yeah.
Fair enough.
But you
Sorry,
have like
Dude.
full
Coke.
circle status going on there between the rear engine
That would be
i-MiEV, and then
amazing.
make it look like an Abarth too, and then your new Abarth that's front wheel drive.
It's also a
Jeez.
super like low rent version of what Rich Rebuilds just did with the Tesla power V8 powered Tesla.
Jeez.
Well, probably more fun,
That's
honestly.
great.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
Maybe.
It totally
Yeah.
could be.
Actually, what
Um,
I did like wonder is like I wonder if I could take like a Model 3 like front motor and put it in the back there, but there's like no room for any
Yeah,
of
the
that.
Holy
Tesla
Lord.
drive units are huge.
holy
Huge
Lord,
things.
that would be fast. like
Yes, it
like
would.
dangerously. Like it would just you need wheelie
The
bars.
i-MiEV is really, really light. It's like 2,500 pounds.
Yeah, that rules.
That's
And-
heavy for that size, but that's light
That
in
rules,
general.
But and 500 pounds of that is the battery.
Wow.
Let's see.
That's
So the Mitsubishi i-MiEV does have a steering rack that is essentially manual. So this we could have a ripper on our hands here if we do this.
that's a perfect transition to like a last section about what we're working on and what we're driving, because it reminds me of when we were comparing all our own cars' weight to the Hummer EV battery. I think because as a group we have a lot of light cars. I just
Oh, yeah.
realized at least somewhere in this table.
I mean,
so
we're connoisseurs.
I think so. Mazda 2, Golf Mark 6, and Civic Si 8th Gen. Your Mazda 2 has got to be the lightest.
I think
right?
so.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mazda
is.
2 weight.
Or is the
20
Abarth the
20
lightest?
No, the
23
the Fiat's really heavy. It actually gained a lot of weight when it came to the United States.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy.
So the Mazda 2 is allegedly 2306 to 2359 pounds. So that's very light.
And
Feather weight.
that's factory too. Like, you just you change up the suspension, do lighter weight wheels, and like you're closer to 22. It's pretty wild.
And the Abarth is allegedly
25.
2512.
Yeah, 2,500 sounds
And then-
right. But I feel like mine's
and
a
then-
little heavier since I've got the sunroof.
Yeah, and then my car is 3050, 3100
Yeah.
maybe. So I'm just over the battery. Or so the battery weight. I don't know.
But-
Your Z's got to weigh nothing, Andrew.
No,
Oh no,
yours was a
you'd be
little
surprised.
heavier.
It's the opposite.
Chris.
That thing is a pig.
What is it? What year is that thing? A 90?
84.
No,
I think it's
84.
like, I want to say like 3,300 or 3,400
Holy Lord.
pounds.
You know,
Dude,
it's,
it is
Let me
an
see.
absolute.
Oh, here you
it's
go.
really fucking sad.
3228.
But
Sorry.
the gear shift makes up for all of it. Oh my gosh.
It's
That
really,
seriously is
really
like one of the
sweet gear
sweetest
shift.
gear shifts I've ever experienced my entire life.
It's a lusty gear
Very
shift.
lusty.
I think.
You mean
But Kevin, I want to hear what Kevin has to
it's
say.
really sad. The UK version or the European version of the Abarth was like just over 2,000 pounds.
Wow.
Really? They're getting that fat?
Yeah, when Chrysler and Fiat got together and they decided to bring the Fiat 500 here, they had to do a lot of like strengthening to the car's like body and chassis so it would like pass.
Yeah.
Oh.
It also gained some.
Dang.
It also gained some other
How nice
stuff.
of them.
Well, it was actually kind of a substantial like build, and then like the European
Huh.
cars got it too.
Well, the Scout isn't that heavy. It says 3,900 pounds, 4,000 pounds allegedly.
Nothing to it, man. It's just
Yeah,
a ladder frame, a motor, and seats. That's it.
Yeah,
But
that's a
but
Montero.
the R
Let's
so
see.
Tony's RSX, that is what, 2,800 pounds?
Should be around
RSX is light.
It was
Montero is
27
4,200 pounds.
27.
God, that was an era. What is yours? So 2004, 2005?
Mine?
Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah,
Just a regular base with the 5.
yeah.
Second
God,
year.
those were the days when cars with like 150 to 200 horsepower were like 27 all day guaranteed.
Yeah.
But yeah, all our cars are pretty much on par or lighter than the Hummer EV battery. I'm kind of disgusted by that figure. I'll be honest with you, because the Hummer weighs 9,500. Is it? It's like insane. You could have 3 Golfs for the same mass as a Hummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little over 9,000. Yeah.
That's gonna tear up roads, isn't it? It's gonna just like crashing. Like is rear-ending a Hummer gonna be like rear-ending a semi truck? Is getting rear-ended by a Hummer, is that just gonna result in pancaking? Like what?
It's seriously something we're going to be talking about soon. I don't really necessarily agree that bigger cars inherently equals more problems, but when they get that heavy, like that's not a good thing.
9,000 pounds is
That's
commercial
too
vehicle
much.
shit.
That's too much. Yeah.
The part that gets me is that, like, at least on some level, I would like to think that a lot of the dickheads who drive like big ass lifted trucks have a concept of what their truck is.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know?
Yeah.
Versus like the fuckheads who are going to buy like Hummer HEV or Hummer EVs and like Tesla Cybertrucks. They just want to impress people.
Tesla Cybertruck's never happening, Kevin. What are you talking about?
Well, we know that, but like if it somehow miraculously comes, like these fuckheads don't they barely know what a car is.
Well, my concern is like they're gonna take them off road and they're gonna destroy trails.
That
That
That's
Hummer
gonna be a
actually
bummer.
might do that.
Or they're gonna be on TikTok and just like look how fast it can go, and they're gonna go fucking sailing straight through an H&M.
What if we
through
put
a
the
mall.
Hummer We should do the Hummer EV launch on the death road in India and see what
God,
happens.
my Lord.
Because it would destroy the road, but then also all the Hummer EVs would disappear.
Also, people don't realize that if you go from full to flat on that Hummer EV, it's gonna take like 3 days to charge.
Yeah, it's a 200 kilowatt battery. 200 kilowatt. It's a huge battery. Like, what is 200 kilowatt hours good for? How much does a house use in a day? Let's see.
28.3 kilowatt hours.
Okay, so you can run a house for almost a week off the Hummer. That is so stupid. Like, okay, and then there's going to be the marketing thing where like, oh, but then you could use it as a mobile power thing in a storm. Like, okay, sure, that's what people in their Hummer EVs are going to be doing all the time.
Well, in unreliable power grids in Texas might come in handy. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, the Hummer EV is the
It's
actual
actually people are only going to buy them in
Texas
because they need reliable power grids.
Yeah. There you go. That's going to be Well, how much is a Hummer EV? $100,000?
Something like that. Yeah.
Most expensive battery you'll ever buy. But
good grief. Yeah.
Here's another comparison point. I just looked up to see how much an F350 weighs.
Right.
And it looks like they're
it's like 7,000, 8,000.
Yeah, right around there, like mid 6 to up to 8,000. So it's still even way ahead.
And a
of
Hummer
the
EV is
F350.
less usable than an F350,
God.
even an F250.
I'm just picturing some poor tech at a GM dealership that gets one of these for like a warranty claim, and they're like, "Oh, we got to hurry up and take this battery out," and then they get crushed and they die.
Dude, well, no. Now I just thought of aren't most 4-post lifts or 2-post lifts are rated only to 10,000 pounds. So these Hummer EVs are going to be pushing the lifts. So they're going to have to these. There's going to be GMC dealerships. They're going to have to get like giant truck lifts.
Yeah.
I think they probably already have them.
Well, yeah.
I feel like they'll probably only be serviced at places that can do like the GMC Kodiak shit.
Yeah.
That's the big trucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Dude, and like you ever work on a lift? Like the cars jiggle around as you like work on them, right? I don't want a Hummer jiggling around.
I don't want to see a 2-post lift sway.
Yeah, exactly.
If it falls, theoretically, like it's got enough ground clearance that you could lay under it. But it'll be the most terrifying few seconds of your life.
It's gonna be in the service thing for the GMC. If in any event the truck falls off the lift, simply roll on the ground.
Yeah,
it's the same as trying to get underneath a train and not getting run over by a train. Like
right. It's like in theory it could work, but
oh lord,
I just wonder how much heat that battery's got to generate.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Who knows? All I know is that truck is stupid. People are gonna buy the fuck out of it. They're gonna buy so many. It's gonna frustrate me.
It's like just to do fast charging on that thing. It's not even gonna be fast anymore.
Well, yeah, it's gonna fast charging will take an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 5 hours. What?
I guess in theory you wouldn't have to charge it up all the way, but like, yeah.
No, I'm not. I don't like that. I paid for the car. I'm gonna use the whole fucking thing. Like
it's charging it up. It's going to be like that scene in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation when they need to like switch to auxiliary power when he turns on the house with all the lights.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just going to destroy the grid.
Hummer power.
Because I just think about you don't get chargers are lossy. Like the car between the car and the charger, like okay, you're going to charge it 200 kilowatt hours, and then maybe you're going to get 50 in an hour at a time. So that's just 4. That's just 4 hours just to make
I already see
any losses.
Yeah.
I already see our dystopian future. Remember in like 2008 where people were daisy chaining PS3s together to make supercomputers?
No.
People were doing that. People were daisy chaining like 15 PS3s in a room, and it like had the power of a Cray or some crazy bullshit like that.
So weird.
So I already see it, dude. There's a power outage in Texas. There's gonna be the local Hummer Owners Club is gonna line up 15 Hummer EVs and connect to the power grid. That'll be Texas power for fucking a week.
Oh god, that's like the best marketing Hummer could ever hope for.
That's what I'm already seeing it.
So
There's gonna be a fucking commercial. It's gonna be the Tundra fucking pulling the space shuttle all over again.
Right.
Can your car power Texas? No.
If you're a PR intern at GMC, if you really want to impress your bosses, somehow sabotage the Texas power grid and then stage that scenario.
Stage a natural disaster.
Yeah,
okay.
You'll get promoted for sure.
It's fucked. Oh god, Jesus Christ.
We're getting close to a full hour here at our.
But we haven't even talked to our listeners,
which is exactly what I was going to bring up.
What a segue.
We kind of bounced around, but our last segment, I wanted to basically open the floor to our good friends who are listening. Now, whether you're listening on Twitter Spaces or chatting in the YouTube thing, what I'm going to go ahead and do is open that bad boy up and see if you would like to call in. What I'm going to do is look at the screen here and see if we got one request. So here's the deal, those of you who are going to chat. It's going to be like a radio show, so it's live to the whole internet. Just I feel like I should disclose that. Whatever
and
you
recorded
say
and recorded.
It's live and recorded, and talk a little bit, and then I'll basically shut your mic off when it makes sense. So don't take it personally. Just run the flow here. So let's see. I'm going to go to the phones. And, okay, Matthew Squark, I think I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'm going to turn your mic on, and we're going to see we're going to see if he still knows. Matthew, you are on with Car Bibles. What's up, man? Welcome. Yeah.
It was funny because Kevin was talking about, you guys were talking about the Abarth, and I'm in the middle of planning the upgrades / future maintenance needs of my 2013 Abarth.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh, nice.
I'm kind of worried because I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole of stuff. I'm just like, well, if I'm gonna like if this part breaks, I could pay a whole lot of money to get the cheapo OEM part, or I could get the upgraded thing for like the same or less money. Like right now I'm chasing a weird like second or third gear like high RPM. I call it a stumble. It's like it just the car like stutters briefly, like it doesn't brake. I don't have a check engine light, and apparently I'm apparently from what I've read, it's like a combination of either wastegate adjustment or like coil packs. Apparently, like if you put the Alfa Romeo 4C ignition coils on the Abarth, it smooths out the engine like the power response.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I've heard that, but also
top
they're really
end.
fucking expensive.
yeah, I know. It's like it's such a then. But the other thing is, I'm trying to do like a series of like write-ups about like easy but effective modifications that even an idiot can do. Hello, I'm the idiot. So like I've got like some suspension like torsion bar, chassis bracing, stuff like that.
Oh, very cool.
High
Very
RPM
cool.
breaking up. That doesn't sound like a coil pack.
Okay.
I would look at wastegate control.
That was the next thing is
Did you check your oil? Did you check your oil?
yeah,
separator?
that's the next thing. I do have the PC I just bought a new PCV because for whatever reason I've been chasing part numbers because for whatever reason Stellantis didn't originally list a separate part number for the PCV. I had to go like digging through YouTube tutorials to figure out the part number. It was and then like there's a bunch of like
Didn't you have similar issues with something else on the bars like that, Kevin? The axles, wasn't it? There's no fucking part number.
Well, part of it is because like when technically not Stellantis, it's actually I think it was Fiat who did this. They just don't certain parts they just sell as one piece, even if they are technically serviceable. The axles are like that. The oil air separators like that. A few other pieces on the car like that. Like they just don't. They would rather you not service it. They just rather you replace the whole thing.
Yeah. And even like, but it's like you can literally unscrew the PCV and just you just spray the cleaner in and you're done. But also apparently, I've heard from like there's one YouTuber I think every Friday off. I started digging through some of his stuff, and it turns out that apparently some of Barth's had the wastegate preload incorrectly set from the factory.
Sounds very very Fiat.
Yeah, like I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I'm glad. Like I'm having a lot of fun with that Abarth. I had an NB Miata up until this point, but I live in Chicago, so not a whole lot of like really fun roads around here. I'm actually enjoying the Abarth more than the Miata in some cases.
I believe it. Yeah.
All I'll say is you are correct, and I'm not going to talk about NB Miatas because people are going to start throwing tomatoes at me.
No, that's fine. I've like
We can do that next week.
I enjoy that car, but like I'm having more fun where I live in this car. And I kind of knew what it was going in. Like it's a hotter version of a cheap like city commuter car.
Totally.
Yeah, but it's like cute and it's like well designed. And it has the baby Ferrari thing, and it's like I like it.
It sounds cool.
And they sound.
I
good.
love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
Dumb question: Have you done plugs yet?
Oh, then what?
Have you done spark plugs yet?
I had a weird when I got it from a shop here in Chicago that does like restores Italian cars, but they also have a side business of taking salvaged Abarths and like basically rebuilding them. And when I got it, the car had like a brief check engine light saying that there was like a misfire on one of the cylinders, but it went away. But that's the next thing I might swap out the spark plugs.
Yeah, try spark plugs for sure.
Yeah. These cars are real. These cars are very sensitive. Like the spark plug interval is very very short. It's like 30,000 miles.
Yeah,
and they only take one plug.
yeah. I'm actually
do spark plugs for sure.
if you try and get anything aside from like the OEM recommended plug, it will act a fool.
Really? Okay. Because I've been like window shopping on like Euro Compulsion and stuff to see like what I should get, and so I was like, okay, all right, I'll tell you, I'll probably stick with you.
Yeah, just you should try the Broken Fiat group and on Facebook, and there's some other like resources. But yeah, like that's what happened with mine. Like the guy thought he blew the motor up, and actually he just broke a plug off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love your write ups, Kevin, about like your ownership experience and all that stuff. Like props, because like the stuff that you like either like just like the take on the confidence to do in terms of like wrenching, like that's so far beyond my level of confidence. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, dude,
really not that hard. I just try to like show people that like I said, a lot of auto journalists really try to kind of chat shit sometime, and I'm like, bro, just
I mean,
get out there.
wrenching is about confidence. You just do it.
It's about confidence. If it breaks, fix it.
Yep.
Yeah, dude,
Yep.
you're
all you
smarter
gotta
than
do.
the bolts.
Yep.
That's simple.
That's a great way to put it,
All
actually.
you can do.
Well said.
That's a great way to put it. I like that.
That's a T-shirt right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're smarter than the bolt. Exactly. If it breaks, just fix it.
Yeah, it's really not hard.
I like
But
that.
high RPM breaking up, definitely check spark plugs because that would do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
A coil pack would be like a under boost breaking up vibes.
Nah, no, it's okay. Yeah. So, thanks very much. That was like mine.
I feel like something's probably like a little wet or oil soaked that probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I am gonna. Yeah,
Also,
it's about
Advice with car
if
Bibles.
push comes to shove, if it's like a really really hard miss, it could also be a multi-year issue, but I doubt it.
Okay.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm about to do an oil change anyway as soon as it stops like snow, because literally it's snowing right now in Chicago and it's like friggin' cold.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I do not miss that.
Every winter I ask myself, why do I continue to live in the Midwest?
Matthew, I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, thanks for calling in.
Cool.
No problem.
Thank you for calling.
I'm going to shut you off, and then I'm going to get somebody else in the mix. Swaza. I cannot pronounce your name. Swaza. CSOWADA. It's probably C Sawada. Anyway, just turn your mic on.
Patcherman.
Yeah, Patcherman. And we'll see if their mic works. Hit us up if you can hear us, my friend.
Hello.
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 Greetings.
This is Christopher. I'm in Austin,
Hi,
Texas,
Christopher.
celebrating the 1 year of nearly freezing to death.
Yeah, it's very
Oh, boy.
bad vibes.
That's
Bad
right.
vibes.
That was that long ago.
Yeah, it was. And thankfully, it's a lot warmer. It got me to thinking also about the Hummer and about vehicle to load, vehicle to grid. I've got a Leaf, first gen Leaf, and I found out there's a thing that plugs into the CHAdeMO port that I could have used to keep my fridge cold during that time. It's like a $4,000, basically an inverter that takes DC to AC. But I saw the stories about the Hummer's pack and how incredibly onerously heavy it is, and the amount of kilowatt hours and all that. And I was up in arms because I think, how many cheap cars, how many cheap, inexpensive i-MiEVs or Leafs or electric 500s could you power with that amount of lithium? And it just blows me away that, okay, all of the resources, all of the mining is going so to the top end of the market, to the bros who got more money than sense, who are probably going to, put that thing somewhere where it won't come out under its own power.
Let's go to Moab, bro.
And then I thought to myself,
Moab and Hummer, bro.
I thought to, at that point the Jeeps come in and yank the thing out.
Could they?
Dude, no.
They got a daisy chain 7 of them.
Pentastar motors. It would take 4 Pentastar motors in a line to pull that fucking heap of shit out. It'd be crazy.
You're gonna have to life flight that thing out.
Get a fucking Sikorsky helicopter.
They'll need a Chinook. They'll need to get the National Guard, get a Chinook in there. Do a sling load and pull the thing out. But then I thought to myself, you know what? It's not that bad, because even if the vehicle itself is totaled, the pack's probably going to be good. And for somebody who's doing an EV conversion, used but serviceable cells are the best thing, because you can get in there and you can find out the good ones, sift them out. There's a company here in Austin that does conversions for Porsches and VWs, just like they do out on the West Coast, and they've got a supplier for reconditioned Tesla cells. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah, and it looks like it's split up into 24 modules in the Hummer.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
so you can remine that lithium out of there.
Oh yeah, those cells are going to live quite long.
24
probably a lot longer than
cells.
the vehicle itself. Yeah,
that's cool. That's really cool.
Interesting. So the Hummer EV might end up being a force for good in the end, but only from its carcass.
Yeah.
Well, because dude, a Hummer EV could power like 4 or 5 EV conversions, which would be pretty nice.
Probably closer to 10, honestly.
Or even if you don't do that, even if you don't do that, I mean, if somebody drives the wheels off of that Hummer, they're going to have a depleted pack that will have a great second life as basically, a local battery cell that can charge up during non-peak hours and deliver, in the heat of the day.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
In some cases, might do the same thing that a solar array would do.
We gotta wait for these Hummer EVs to be accidentally driven through horrendous things and get totaled, and then rely on pulling parts off of them. Like
to the point from earlier, I don't think we're going to be waiting too long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there was that drive story from like a year ago where that Jeep got stuck somewhere stupid. It's going to be a Hummer EV soon. Guaranteed.
Oh man.
I remember the stickers that you could get at Jeep shops that say, H2 recovery vehicle.
Right.
Excellent. Hey, thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Great. Appreciate it. I'm gonna turn your mic off and then get Peter H in the mix here. If you're on another, never mind, my mistake. Peter Habich perhaps is the pronunciation there. I'm gonna turn your mic on, and Nathan, I see your request as well. I'll turn you on next.
He's an F1 man.
Peter, if other Peter, I should say, new Peter, if you can hear us, welcome to the show.
Loud and clear. Thanks,
hey, man.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, definitely an F1 fan, journalist, and kind of event producer here. So thanks for the other Peter's intro to the new cars. Non-F1 question. Love the group's takes on what to do at a crossroads with a 05 S2000, 137,000 miles, probably around $9,000 to $12,000 maybe on sale. Not sure what to do. Hang it up and sell it as is, or keep it and hang on to it. It's paid for, and I'm just not sure what to do.
I say is it AP1 or AP2?
AP2, yes.
Keep it.
Yeah.
Hold. It depends. So what do you want to do?
Yeah. So
do you want something else?
I've come into possession of a low mileage Porsche Boxster S, and
nice.
So that's been really fun. It's weird because I love the adjustable steering on the Boxster S, but the one thing
S2000 is terrible at driving position.
Yeah, so when I'm 6'4", and so when I got the car, it was like a no-go. I couldn't see the top of the tack.
Yeah, you're huge in an S2000. Those are designed for 5-7 foot small guys.
I know. So I got the seat rail kit. I lowered it about, I think it was like 2 centimeters or something. So you can get like a JDM deal, or I don't know what it is, but I bought it, and it worked great. It's still in the car in the driver's seat. So I'm in an area where I've been considering maybe putting a car out on like Turo, because there's a lot of twisty roads where I am in Northern California. Bad idea?
Turo.
Absolutely. I have some Turo content coming. It's an awful.
We'll explain it, but yeah, you expose yourself to a lot of liability.
Oh, right.
A lot.
Yep.
It'll come out in Kevin's really good piece.
Honestly, yeah, I would be so afraid of what people would do to that car,
That
man,
too.
as a rental. Oh, I'd be
It's
scared.
like
I couldn't
giving
do it.
it's giving a toddler a loaded gun.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, you could filter a lot for like, you have to be this age or whatever, But yeah,
I mean, the thing with your S2000 is that it's gonna only go up in value for here because that's a future collector. That's not even a bubble collector car. That's like people are gonna want that in 10 years, like bad.
People
The
already.
Boxster, people already speculate on it. I mean, a Boxster S, that's actually a pretty good one too. That might go up, but I'm not sure. There's a lot of perceptions about those early 986 Boxers that might hold it back in the future.
I would be hard pressed to hold on to both an S2000 and a Boxster.
Yeah, it's a tough decision because the
unless you have a
Boxster drives
shitload of
better.
money.
The
Yeah.
Boxster drives better by a lot, for sure. S2000s are good, but the steering isn't great and the driving position isn't great.
Yeah.
I'm a type of person like, life is short and variety is the spice of life. And you know what? The S2000 has served its purpose. Maybe it's time for it to go.
Maybe. And you could get more than 12 for that car. You could
definitely get more than 12.
Especially in the Bay Area.
I feel like probably closer to 16 or 17, especially now.
Yeah, I mean, even we're anti BAT here, but you could probably get some money on BAT, honestly.
I don't know if they like high mileage over 100K. That might be tough.
Cars and bids, though.
There was like
Do they?
Yeah, cars and bids, you get good money on it. Yeah, but you'll get good money for that S2000 if you're over it. Like if you're over it, then sell it. That's
if you've had your fun with it. I mean, initially my reaction was, oh my gosh, hang on to that, because if it's clean, you like it, it's lots of fun, you've made some modifications to fit into it better. But at the same time, you could get some money for it, and it is a unique, fun driving experience, and they're not going to make a car like that ever again. But you have the Boxster S. That's also like a very unique, fun, excellent car, and like so good for its era. You've got the better gearbox, a little bit more power than the base one. So, yeah,
the Boxster S drives
amazing.
Boxster?
Sorry, I forget.
02.
An early one. Okay.
He has an 02 Boxster S, the 986. So he's got the better gearbox.
Those drive amazing. You have the choice of Boxster there for the 986.
Yeah,
the cheapest S2000 I'm looking at now is 12.5. It has 207K, and it's in Michigan, and it's an AP1.
Yeah, you're AP2. You have like okay miles. You're gonna get a ton of money. I almost want to say 20K for it. Like people are crazy for S2000s right now.
California car as well.
In California, dude, in Bay Area,
I think it just depends on what you. Yeah, I think I agree. It's the Boxster's a better car. As a Honda nut, I might keep the Honda, but that's just being my weirdness, my personal weirdness.
Boxster's gonna cost more money to keep for sure.
That's true.
Some guys really ask. I'm sorry. Somebody's really. I'm looking at the classified, but some guys really asking $25,000 for a 240SX.
Oh yeah. But look, if you're mentally, if you like the Boxster more, you can't justify it. And if you already had your fun and you mentally checked out of the S2000, sell the S2000, because at the end of the day, it's just a machine. It's just an object.
Yeah.
And if you really wanted one in the future, which I doubt, you can get it again. But like even then, the likelihood of you wanting another one in the future is going to be low once you've had your fun. You're going to have the nostalgia. But what I always do when I feel that is I go test drive a friend's one. And I'm like, oh, then you remember why you sold it. You remember why you were over it,
Or you remember why you liked it and you buy another one.
Or that. It's life. Yeah, exactly.
It's weird. I think, having driven both, I haven't had the opportunity, I should say, to have driven both kind of back and forth. There's definitely a fit and finish to the Boxster that is just weird. I feel like it's kind of lame, but I mean, I definitely feel
it's not
like
a great Porsche interior. It's not a good one. The buttons feel weird.
It's like being in a Pontiac.
Yeah, it's gotten a little, the visor, vanity mirror flaps are all busted off. That's all just stuff that happens on these cars, but. I'm on the fence, but thanks, guys. I'm definitely fan of just like the general chat and
right on.
I love listening and learning a lot about other cars too. So thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for calling in,
dude. Thanks for calling in. I'm going to turn your mic off, and then I'm going to turn one more. Nathan Gibbs, if you're so inclined to hang out with us, this will be our last one because we're running a little long. But Nathan, I'm going to go ahead and turn your mic on, and if you want to chat. If you can hear us, rather, say hello.
Hello, how's it going?
Hello, hello.
I think the signal cut out for a
There he
second
is.
there. I just heard that.
No, we got you.
Awesome.
We got you.
Hey, man,
what's
how's
up?
it going?
Cool. Hey, thanks so much for having me on here. I just wanted to thank Chris in particular for talking about the Oculus rig for VR. In kind of a funny,
Oh, thank you.
funny coincidence, I was just posting on Opposite Lock today asking what it takes to get into sim racing, and I wasn't aware that VR headsets were that cheap. Because I was just looking in the comments, somebody posted a GIF of lighting money on fire for getting into iRacing. And I'm like, as
Look,
familiar
here's the
with that
truth
as I
about sim
am as a
racing.
car enthusiast, hearing that the Oculus rig costs less than a single tire for my Camaro, actually, that sounds like a very good deal for seat time.
Yeah. Well, look, here's the deal. Look, for about $3,000, you could have a really nice sim rig that can run VR.
Mhm.
You have a good wheel, a good pedals.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, but it's also cheaper than probably a single spec Miata race before you have to buy the spec Miata.
Oh, yeah.
So, so it's like, and you honestly, like, if you're into it, you get a lot of fun out of sim racing because it is racing.
Mhm.
You're still honing your racecraft. You're still practicing consistency. You're still getting focused.
For sure.
You're doing all these things. Sim racing is amazing. Anyone who says it's dumb is dumb.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I
but
definitely.
yeah, no, totally get into it, dude. Get into it.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the encouragement there. I've been looking for more seat time, but rallycross happens only once a month. I don't do autocross in my Camaro anymore because track tires are really expensive.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So like rallycross has been a good budget option. It fits
What
all
kind of
terrain.
Camaro you have?
It's a 4-cylinder turbo, actually, funny enough. It's a 2019.
Interesting.
He's got the Turbo 1LE.
Is it a 1LE?
Yeah, with the
I was
1LE
about to ask.
package.
Oh, that's good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You went full Randy Popes on that one. You got the
Yeah,
lightest
it's
one
pretty
with
funny.
the best handling.
Is it the one
Exactly.
your
Yeah, that
your
was.
profile pic? What
Yeah,
wheels you got
that's
on
the
there?
one. And if that's the Black Rhino Boxer wheels, it's an 18-inch setup, and then I've got the new BF Goodrich trail terrain tires on it.
Oh, so cool.
Dude, you
It rides
rallycross
so
this
much
thing?
better
Oh,
than
yeah.
It
stock.
looks
Those
really
wheels
yeah.
look
badass.
sick.
Oh yeah, his social
Yeah.
media is excellent. I'm
No, hold
very
on.
much a
This
fan.
dude actually takes his fucking Camaro out to Glen Helen. Is that Glen
Yeah.
Helen?
That
Oh
is
my
Glen
God.
Helen right there. Yep. Yeah, I've
That
taken
is
it to Glen Helen. I've taken it up Palomar Mountain on the Nate Harrison dirt road.
Whoa.
Like not South Grade that everybody likes around
This
San Diego, but the actual dirt
this is
road to the
blessed.
top.
This is awesome.
This is
Yeah,
excellent.
this
This is
thing-
truly. Dude, you got like Wild Peaks on there. Don't you have the AT Trails? Is that what those are?
I started with the Wild Peaks, and then BF Goodrich came out with the trail terrain right around when I'd worn out the Wild Peaks from too much rallycross.
Oh yeah, those are awesome.
And the
Those
trail
are great new
terrains,
tires, yeah.
oh yeah, they're even quieter than the Wild Peaks, and I feel like the grip is just about the same off-road. They're
This
lighter
is-
than the Wild Peaks too, so it's been just a great experience all around.
This is
man.
massive props, friend. This is
Yeah,
good
this
stuff.
is great. For those of you who are
I appreciate
only listening,
that.
I'll put it up. I got some videos here. I just pulled up some stuff from your Twitter.
Rallycrossing
Oh yeah,
Go
that
this
most
year
recent
happening.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh, hell yeah.
the handling is so nice, even in an off-road context. It's a 50-50 weight balance, tons of torque. For a
Yo.
4-cylinder turbo, it's about as predictable as it gets.
Yeah, that rules.
Yeah.
Freaking
No,
great.
the 4-cylinder in the Camaro is really nice, especially compared to the EcoBoost in the Mustang. In my opinion.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, this
Mileage
one,
may vary.
it's nice because it's much more like it's a 2.0 turbo, but it's like a bigger turbo relative to the motor compared to the EcoBoost. So
Yeah, it
instead of
revs
being
out.
all bottom end like the EcoBoost, it's got some turbo lag, and you got to rev it up to really get the boost to kick in. So it's very old school, very like 90s JDM kind of vibes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is actually
This
what
is-
got me
yeah.
into the Camaro originally.
It's like the
Because
Civic
I
Type
actually
R.
have a Toyota MR2 that's been out of commission for a year, and the Camaro kind of has the same import tuner vibes, but just happens to be built in Michigan.
Yes. This
Wow, I
is
love that.
this is excellent. Man, the secret hankering I've had for an SS1LE for like 4 years. It's unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
But this is
I
awesome.
actually,
Thank
funny enough, after I got this one, I got to drive it back to back with an SS1LE, and they handled just about the same. I mean, the Magna Ride on the SS1LE makes it about the same ride comfort.
Mhm.
It's just the 2.0, it steers a little more precise, and it might as well be electric in terms of exhaust note compared to the SS.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
But I mean, it is a Cadillac motor. It's the one they used in the ATS and CTS, and so it's super chill on the street, great on gas. I get like 35 miles per gallon on the way up to Rallycross.
Yeah, that rolls.
Yeah, it's so great on the freeway. Like,
okay, hold
aerodynamic,
we're
tiny motor.
Tempest.
It's
I know, right?
Oh yeah,
it makes me jump right to Auto Tempest.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. Most people don't know this car exists with this motor.
Oh, I know.
And
well, they
feel
stopped
like
selling
most
everything.
of the
Yeah.
I mean,
for like
most
1
of
or
the
2
Camaro
years,
community
right?
doesn't want people to know it exists because it's actually really good with only 4
Oh
cylinders.
yeah, and like everyone liked it too. I remember Car and Driver did a really thorough review of it, and I'm just like, oh man, I really want to drive one of these now. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be impossible to find a 4-popper 1LE though. I think.
You got a nationwide search.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
tough.
Yeah,
it was pretty
like
funny.
A 1 or 2. It was 1 or 2 year onlys, right? Like
it was like nothing.
They only added 2019 through 2021.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But
40
it's really funny
for an SS 1LE.
So this one, the thing is, it didn't sell well though. It was a really slow seller.
Very slow seller.
I actually.
Because once you're in the dealership, they're gonna be like,
it's
$500 for $500 a month for a turbo, but you got a V8 for $600.
Yeah,
that's how they get you in the V8.
Well, the thing is, these were great deals when they came out, like back in 2019, before the whole autopocalypse with car prices.
Yeah.
What happened was they were selling really slowly, so these would sit on lots for like 4 or 5 months, and you actually could get them at pretty good discounts.
God, I wish I looked into
wish.
that.
I wish
remember
GM marketed this thing. But there were never any ads for the 1LE on the 4-banger.
Well, here's the most important thing about your Camaro. Is that because it's on fucking off-road tires, it's officially subverted Camaro guy. It's actually a cool Camaro.
Well, it's funny. I've had people ask with the gold wheels, they think it looks like the old Bandit Edition Firebirds from the 90s or 70s. What am I thinking here? Yeah, it gets that similar kind of vibe.
More Rally Sport.
I appreciate
RS.
that. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Rally Sport actually, that's what RS stands for again.
This was an excellent final guest.
It really was.
Hell yeah.
Man.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. I'm going to shut your mic off. Thanks again. And with that, we've been, this HOOPTIE Happy Hour extended to 90 minutes. Thanks so much for everybody who came in and listened, and those of you who listened / watched on YouTube. So this is going to be, you're going to be able to watch this, listen to it for as long as you want. We'll put it on our site. And we're going to do this every week, every Thursday, 3:30 Eastern. We're going to have a little sesh, and we will be refining the format a little bit, but that's pretty much how it's going to go. We'll switch up some guests, and yeah, thanks so much for listening, and have a nice rest of your Thursday.
See you, everyone.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, bye, everybody.